Hey everyone, John Gonzalez here from MLive.com, the Grand Rapids Press, and the Going Gonzo radio show, weekdays at 1 o'clock. Recently we talked to Grammy Award-winning singer and multi-million-selling artist Michael Bolton. He has performances coming to Mount Clemens, Michigan, to the Macomb Music Theater on December 5th, and the Four Winds Casino in New Buffalo on December 7th, 2013, and we talked to him about what's going on with his career. Michael, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
We're doing fantastic. Thank you very much. We really appreciate you spending a little time with us. I know you're getting ready to get back on the road, and get to Michigan. So we welcome you and get ready and welcome you to Michigan.
Well, thanks. I'm looking forward to it. I've been coming to Michigan for almost 30 years.
I know you have a lot of diehard fans here. Yes, you do.
I was Bob Seger's opening act in 1983 when he didn't need an opening act. And we've been filming in Detroit. We've been filming a documentary on the comeback of Detroit, which has been phenomenal.
Wow.
I went because I recorded this Hitsville album.
Exactly.
Which is all about where Motown was born, of course, which is a big part of my childhood. And when we were getting ready to head there with our cameras, I have a film company, a production company, and we were thinking, we'll just cover this phenomenal event that probably no one will ever see the likes of again, because Motown took place at a time where, it was such a powerful source of music that rocked the whole world that even the Beatles were blown away by Motown. And so we wanted to get it on film, and then all of a sudden, this other element came into the picture, which was Dan Gilbert, the Quicken Loans guys, the Bedrock guys, people who were born in Detroit who are not letting it go. They're rebuilding it from the center out. And we said, could we bring our cameras up to, your offices and the planning stages and, film some of them, anything that's not, too confidential. Will you let us cover it? And they were amazing. They just let us in. And Bruce Schwartz works with Dan, has been Dan's close friend for his whole life, gave us several tours about everything that's going on, not just what Dan is doing, but what other people are doing, and the stores and the shops and the restaurants and the riverfront, and it was really, really uplifting stuff. And a lot of people don't know that there's a lot of great rebirth activity going on in the center of Detroit right now. So we're kind of excited to tell that story. And I know I don't want to get off track of, talking about coming and doing shows, but that's what's been going on lately, so I thought I'd let you know that.
No, we appreciate that, because Michigan, Detroit's a big deal. Whether you live in the Upper Peninsula, where I just spent some time, the west side of the state, Lansing, it doesn't matter. And I think you bring a passion to this project that you're doing, as well as an offshoot of your album, is this love for a music that changed our culture, and a lot of people don't remember that.
Yeah, I know. It's certainly, it's a few specific generations, of course. It's still 50, 60 years, like the mid 60s, where it really boomed. But it even, Motown helped break the race barrier that existed at the time. It was the time when you would look out in the audience, if you watch the Dick Clark show or some, American Bandstand or some television show where there was a Motown artist performing, and you'd see the audience was just completely mixed, and they were loving what was going on stage. And so it kind of really let people know the power of music, the kind of transcendent power of music, and the ability for this bridge to be created from music. I never even thought about that, because coming from Connecticut, I was just hearing my favorite artists on Motown, and I knew all the words, and and I was a huge fan. It's a big part of my childhood. But then even the Beatles, who were over in London, and were becoming the biggest thing on earth, they were moved to reach into the Motown catalog and record songs that were written by the writers of Motown, and they were fans. So yeah, there's that, and there's definitely there are so many songs that were part of the Motown experience that have now been recorded, every 5 years they're a hit by somebody else, every 10 years. A standard is just re-recorded, whether it's You Keep Me Hanging On or Stop in the Name of Love or How Sweet It Is to Be Loved by You, the Holland Dozier Holland team.
Sure.
We've interviewed all of them. We've gone in and had really in-depth interviews. But there's something else that's connected to this, that maybe it's because the way I was raised in Connecticut, when my father was out, washing his car in the garage, in the driveway. And my belief system was that, the American dream was founded on this belief that you have the right to a decent life. You have the right to be able to provide for your family, and you work hard and you're rewarded. And I have this whole kind of visual that's part of my childhood belief system. And Detroit has always been a big part of that because, of course, the automotive, the enormity of the automotive industry that drove the country, as well, it was just happened to be happening in Detroit, was the biggest musical source of any label in the world. It was happening simultaneously. But now, because of the story of the rebuilding of Detroit, it kind of, there's no way for it not to resonate and connect with your core belief system, that's what the American dream is about. Work, build it, and great things will happen. And that's happening, again, right now in the center of Detroit. And, it's Dan Gilbert's team for sure. They're doing amazing things, but they've also introduced us to other people who are doing work in tandem with them. And it's pretty exciting. It's more than exciting. It's, it makes you believe again.
Yeah, as Detroit makes a comeback, it kind of re-energizes, you're right, the whole country. A lot of people, not just in Michigan, but a lot of people around the country are watching to see how Detroit will rebound through the situation that they're going through right now. And that was segment 1 of our interview with Michael Bolton. Of course, more information on mlive.com. Search for Michael Bolton or The Going Gonzo Show. Coming up next, more with Michael Bolton on The Going Gonzo Show.